this generation has a duty. And the reason that we came together as a community of people to start the SPPG, following from the research that I had conducted into why Africa's politics is delivering poor economic performance across the continent. I wanted to establish whether there was a theoretical underpinning which, if understood, would enable us more constructively and strategically address the failings. I am delighted to have 12 countries represented in the second of the Africa Conference that announces the graduation week of every class that we have been able to train over a period of 10 months at the School of Politics, Policy and Governance. So think that this school is just 4 years old. And as you could see, when our brothers and sisters from across the continent greeted us, we do have SPPG Senegal that will be graduating its own students in December. Thank you so much. Mary Pierce, where are you? Why are you hiding away, my sister? I don't want you to be hiding away. I have to see you. Mary Pierce, Adama, Professor Fall, Babakan Diaye, Babaka Gay. You saw, I remember that mutual brother, Babakan Diaye. And then, of course, Bedi and Professor Fall. We're just so happy to have you amongst us, because you have shown us clearly that the template from that study is correct. We have done it in Nigeria, and through you, we're demonstrating that it is definitely something for Africa. And guess what? We're currently designing, together with our brothers and our sisters from Ghana, Zimbabwe, and Kenya, their own schools of politics, policy, and governance. And so the idea came, supported by the thoughts of our friends, because it was in Berlin, Germany, that I went as a Richard von Weizsäcker Fellow of the Robert Bosch Academy to go and reflect. I had failed classically in politics, as in failed. I was in a party that had absolutely no interest in the values I stood for. And I knew that there was no way I was going to negotiate my values. And when I went to do my reflections, it was essentially to say, are we done for? Because someone like me, who had zero interest in politics, I was compelled by the frustration that came over me, seeing the parents and the children of Chibok, who had been so terribly abandoned by successive governments. And I realized this is not just normal. I'd seen across the continent as VP of the World Bank in Africa, for Africa region, in Washington, D.C., traversing the continent. I'd seen that the political class of the continent was a factor in the quality of governance that was being offered. And based on our own studies, that this quality of governance is ultimately what determines, and Ka, thank you very much for your setting the stage. Ultimately, it is your quality of governance that will determine whether you develop. There are no pathways other than through good governance. So my reflection was actually sorrowful. But I had to spend time really using data. Are you an SPPG student? In God we trust. Bring your data. And I'm ending on the note of data. Because based on that setting of sin by Kawala and the tearful welcome that my sister and friend of more than 3 decades gave us. You could see she was crying. She wasn't speaking, she was crying. She was trying to console herself, hold herself. You know what data says? Demographically, Africa is the youngest continent. 18.8 years average age of the population. Europe is 44.6 years. America is 38.6 years. China is 39.2 years. Latin America is 36.5 years. All of Asia, as an average, is 32 years. Our continent is 18.8 years. That is an incredible opportunity. But that opportunity can be wasted if Africa doesn't get governance right. And the thing that destroys governance in Africa is the absence of a consistent political class that has character, competence, and capacity. You represent the answer to that missing piece. But we decided that for your graduation, it wasn't sufficient to just have a conference amongst yourselves. And we thought, together with the support of our partners at GIZ, Berlin, Germany, that we should make it an Africa-wide program, finding examples of the exact class of people that should build the new Africa. And that's how come the first Africa conference happened with the graduating class of 2023. Are there some graduating class of 2023 people here? Anyone from graduating class of 2023? Oh, I see some hands. Hey, give it up for them. They introduced the Africa conference. And look at us today. Ka, this great woman from the other Nigeria. Because everything that is not good about us, you find it there. Ka, incredible mind. She just took this on and she said, big sis, we're going to make it happen. Are we making it happen? Together with our team, partnership, collaboration. It's the reason that you're all here. Because when you govern, whether at the local level, at the state level, or at the national level, in your countries, you don't govern for the population that you immediately see. You govern for Africa. We want you to immediately have that mindset of the Africa solution. And the Africa solution that will be exponential in impact has to be interconnected. The reason we welcome you with joy is that we know that by the time we're closing this conference tomorrow, many of you would already be planning when you will go to Zimbabwe, when you will go to Burkina Faso, when you will go to Ghana, when you will go to Kenya, when you will go to Senegal, because you will not be this jolly, very provincial set of people running things with little mindedness and not realizing that we're so far behind that in order to get ahead, we must be people who think big. You're welcome to the Africa Conference because your journey to big ideas started. Thank you very much. God bless you.